Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
You've probably heard that there's a difference between joy and happiness. Happiness is based on what happens to you, your circumstances, whereas joy is based on what the Lord has done and continues to do in our lives. Happiness changes because circumstances change. But for those of us who know the Lord, the joy He gives us does not change because what He's done for us is unchangeable. The Bible says that we should rejoice in all things, even in persecution, even when problems pile up, even when a crisis comes, even in trials. James 1 even starts out the letter by saying, "Consider it all joy, my brothers, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. And let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." So how do we do that? In the book of Habakkuk, the prophet had been given the warning to give the people of Israel of God's coming wrath because of their wickedness. At the end of the book, he knew what was coming. He knew God was sending people to invade the land. But Habakkuk realized that he could still have joy in God no matter what was going to happen. His declaration in Habakkuk 3:17 and 18 was full of the faith that we should have. "Though the fig tree should not blossom, and there be no fruit in the vines, though the yield of the olive should fail, the crops produce no food, though the flock should be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation." Joy doesn't come from how we feel. We have to choose joy and let the feelings catch up with the joy we have chosen to have. Joy comes when we say yes to God and no to the world. Joy comes when we choose to focus on Him instead of focusing on what's going on around us. Rejoice because you belong to God and He loves you. Rejoice because you're in the book of life and you'll spend eternity in heaven. As I write this, I've been going through a pretty rough time. After my surgery for thyroid cancer, I had to be on a special diet, separated from my family for a week during an iodine radiation therapy. Things are rather uncertain, but throughout this, God has reminded me to choose joy. Through that joy, I've been able to see things from a completely different perspective. I read somewhere that trials can be considered an update on a Christian's resume. I like that. I've been learning so much about God's love and provision throughout this time, and the full week of separation from my family has been the spiritual retreat that I've been needing. So here's my version of Habakkuk 3:17 and 18. "Though the grocery stores are out of Lysol, and I'm going on the third week of a bland, low-iodine diet, though I'm not allowed to have chocolate, milk, or eggs, though I've been separated from my husband and children in church, though the words cancer and radiation are looming large and scary, though my singing voice hasn't worked since I had surgery, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will rejoice in the God of my salvation. I choose joy." Do you choose joy? What does Habakkuk 3:17 and 18 sound like in your life? I'd love to hear it. You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. I'm Carla Early, and thanks for listening. And remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.